on, everyone. Outspoken Silent One. Got a short video, a short article for this one. It's not very long, but it's going to be about, and to me, I just see it as a racist movement. It's based on it. Definitely, is a racism act, but everybody's looking at it a different way because these people come up with a way to sugarcoat what to call it and just put a veil over what it truly is, which is getting bad. Because we have it with Black Lives Matter, because we have the Marxist group, and then we have the actual movement for Black Lives. Because Black Lives Matter Marxist organization, they're dead set on destroying this country, burn the system down, which evidently their system is literally burn this country down. And these people have actually said this, even the people that started the Black Lives Matter organization. But to go on with all this, it's for colleges all across the country, not just small college. This one's coming from the university. This university is San Francisco State University. I've never heard of it until now, until this article. The universities are embracing segregation again. Colleges around the country are creating facilities with the goal of separating students on the basis of race. Segregation, that's what that is. You're separating the two cultures to get rid of that. But they say in the article that it's not supposed to be called that. Earlier this week, it was announced that San Francisco State University would offer segregated housing for African American students. CBS San Francisco Bay Area reports, new student housing designed for African American students and culture is coming to San Francisco State University. African American students make up just under 6% of the campus population, and it's unclear how many dorm rooms will be dedicated to African American culture. Okay, my issue with this is they keep saying African American. How many of these people are actually from Africa? They'll sit there and say, I'm African American. So, okay, but are you from Africa? Doubt it. Not that many people out. I know there are a number of people out there that actually live in this country that are from Africa. But to me, if you're born in America, you are American. You are an American citizen if you're born in America. Whites don't go around saying, oh, we're European American, we're Irish American, or whatever, we're German American. No. We are American. The only ones that really could fight what to call certain people are really Native Americans, because they were here first. Not us. We moved here to get away from slavery, which our kids are now being taught that this country was actually built on race, on slavery from the hundreds of years ago when the slaves were actually going on, when the black slavery happened. No, we were running from slavery. We were fleeing slavery. This is how we came across it. We weren't trying. This country wasn't found on slavery. It was to get away from slavery. Okay, it goes on. At SFSU is hardly alone. Universities around the country, Cal State, Los Angeles, Iowa, Princeton, UConn, UC Davis, Berkeley, etc., have established similar housing. Your New York Times will tell you the word segregated is really not precise, as these racially themed dormitories are technically open to all students. This is a clever bit of hair splitting that allows universities and students to achieve a desired outcome, segregated housing, without having to use the nasty word or deal with the potential legal ramifications of segregating on the basis of race. It will be interesting to see how they go on to say it will be interesting to see how when some too clever white students lobbies a university to create a white themed dormitory. Okay, right there is where my issue on blacks are. Whites don't sit there and call out because they're white. They need to get special treatments. They do not have scholarships strictly for whites like the blacks do. There are black only scholarships that schools offer. Whites don't have that type of thing. We imagine if whites wanted a White History Month. What would that reaction be? They would throw a fit. Well, you guys got Black History Month, but we can't give White History Month. We've got this. Because it is such a racist thing. I don't understand it. Because the race card gets thrown out so much. If it's okay for you guys to say, if it's okay for blacks to say racist things to whites, whites should have the equal opportunity and equal right to call blacks different racial slurs. But it's only a one-way street in their head. If a white guy says one word that comes across, that could be connected to a racial word, it makes national news. It gets blown up out of water. But we have videos, we're seeing it all the time. Blacks sit there and they go on degrading white people, belittling these people, using every racial slur they can, and they're posting it all over news, everything, but it's looked past because why? Because they're black, and I hate that. Racism needs to be treated the same on all sides, not just whites can't do it. It does not say, and if it does, show me the definition of racism in the definition itself. Where does it say excluding whites? This goes for everybody except for whites. Because whites can't do it. Because whites are the racist ones. But racism and racists actually goes for the separation of you're offended and you have issues with another race just based on their color or their nationality. How is that not racism when a black person does it to a white person? I don't care what they are, even if it's a white or if it's a black person yelling at a white cop. And we even see it with blacks going on blacks, calling them these things. Whites flat out going after whites, saying they're white or white supremacy and everything, and it doesn't happen in my head. But that don't matter. It goes on to say, however, it's worth pointing out that the students demanding segregated housing aren't really interested in a bit of verbal nuance. This is coming from California State University of Los Angeles. We demand the creation and financial support of a housing space delegated for black students and a full-time resident director who can cater to the needs of black students. Okay, so they're going to have... You're separating yourselves. You're wanting this. What the hell did Martin Luther King do? Nothing. And this is what's getting rid of it. We want our own housing. We want somebody to cater to our own needs. They have that stuff already available for everybody. But they want special treatment because they're black. They are different. Well, last I checked, Martin Luther King was actually trying to stop all that. He was getting rid of all that. When he literally died for this. Don't make sense to me. The blacks are actually going away from what a well-respected black person fought and died for. They're just getting rid of all this. Martin Luther King Jr. he was such a big person in the black community of black history. Why get rid of what he's fighting for? It's getting rid of history again. Oh, we're not allowed to have these statues of generals from the Civil War because it's connected to slavery. How is this not not trying to destroy history the exact same way. You're getting rid of what somebody fought and died for. New York Times goes on to say, writers might not be comfortable with the word segregation, but that's what student activists are demanding and receiving on college campuses. Berkeley, for example, has at least 7 segregated, this is actually what they did, just segregated, put a line through it, racially themed housing communities on campus, the Los Angeles Times reports, including communities for Native Americans, Asian Pacific Americans, and African Americans. Now, they're not even going for the other groups. They're doing it. They're not just saying it's strictly for them, but they're doing it for other people that might not even want this. That they're forcing this now. Forcing other races to do something that they might not be for. Now, I don't know of all these people. I don't live on a campus. I don't go to college. I don't have any of this. Why? I mean, to me, it's stupid. And this is just the ignorance of our young people now. And it's annoying to me. I fear for what my kids are getting taught in school. I fear to see how they're going to go. Now, I'm going to say when I was younger, I acted the same way as these people did at times. I looked at the government completely different than how I look at it now because I was immature and I didn't consider and look at all the implications of what I was being told and how I was being told in different ways to sugarcoat and make what my actions were different. That was when I was in school. Now I have my own family. I'm a lot older. I've been out of school for so long. I started seeing things completely different. And I was like, man, that was stupid when I was young. And I flat out said it. Now, students say they need these safe spaces because universities are such hostile places. That may be the case, though college campuses don't leap to mind as hotbeds of tolerance. But make no mistake, racially themed housing is intended to create racially segregated housing. Unlike university spokesmen and media writers, the students driving the policies refreshingly candid. They do not mince words on why they desire housing apart from white people. White people are bad. I don't understand. Then you can watch any of my videos. Whites aren't that bad. Because whites are so racist. All whites are racist. No, we're not. But the way, honestly, I've started becoming racist because of all this going on. They want special treatment. Well, just because you're black doesn't mean you get treated differently. But that goes back to, okay, you get it, but I don't. It's stupid as hell in my mind. There are some legitimate reasons why students desire segregated housing. Yep, I just read. Many minority students no doubt grew up in environments where they were one of the few or only persons of color in their class or town. It's not nefarious to desire a living environment in which one does not feel like an outsider for change. Okay, if you're on your own, I'm going to say it now, we don't have many blacks in our area, but we have them. They're not treated any differently by our police or anybody. Just my thought. Just put that out there. There are places that aren't like that. I grew up when I was in school, we had a couple black students. That number grew a lot because when I got into high school, that actually took 3 schools and combined them into one high school, which that helped the diversity and brought more into it. And they weren't treated any different by me and everybody else when they're there. And I live in a redneck area. I really do. But yet we're the problem. But media and administrators should all at least have the courage to call it what it is. Racially themed housing is a verbal ruse more fit for an Orwell novel than academic institutions. And that's the article. Now, I'm gonna say it is It's just flat out racist. It's racism on another level that is being covered up and sugar coated for the blacks to give them the right to say whites are the racist ones. I'm calling it that. I'm saying this is what it is. These people are stupid in my mind. Every one of these people that are doing this type of stuff are stupid. You're segregating yourself. You're separating yourself away from whites and purposely putting yourself out there in a different way. Now, I agree with the Black Lives Matter movement. The actual people that fight for Black lives, not the Black Lives Matter Marxist group that actually fight the way they are by destroying our country. I've said it plenty of times, and I'll say it, and I'll always say it. I will not follow these people because the Black Lives Matter movement is completely different than the organization. The organization, not all Black Lives Matter to these people, and they prove it time and time again. A black person is killed by a black person. It is not mentioned. It is not rioting. It is not being called for justice. A white cop, however, he kills a black guy. Now that city is going to burn. Okay, why is this one life more important than this life? So, well, it's social or racial injustice. No. That's just flat out picking and nitpicking everything of racism or of this thing. Is that racial injustice is something happening, and racial injustice is completely different than what they actually claim they're fighting for. If Black Lives Matter, why are black cops being killed? Why are black lives still being killed by other blacks? That is the problem with the movement. They have hijacked the word and words of the Black Lives Matter movement. One, they actually want treated equally. These people want to rule and be in charge of everyone and everything. Granted, a lot of these people are also white that are doing it. Just, in my opinion, are just stupid. So, for all I care, blacks can shove those fists right up their ass and spin on them, for all I care, when they're doing this type of stuff. Because you're not bringing racism into it, because you're calling it something else. You're wanting special treatment. Screw you, screw every one of you. I would be embarrassed if I was a black person. I've actually heard it from other black people. I am embarrassed to be this race because of what these people are doing. So let's get rid of all of it. Stop calling each other racist. Just because they fly an American flag, they fly a Confederate flag, they fly a Black Lives Matter flag, they fly a thin blue line flag, does not make them racist. That does not separate racism. Just because I'm from, my heritage goes back to Germany, doesn't make me a Nazi. I don't have to pay for what Hitler did. But yet we're expected to pay blacks for their time of slavery that happened hundreds of years ago, which makes no sense. So if you can figure it out how this is not segregation on this article, please tell me, because I have no idea. How is this not a racial thing happening? How this is not racism at a new level? I say go back to, well, if it's going to be that way, let's go back to having just whites only bathrooms. Let's go back to having whites only water fountains. Let's go back to having black only schooling and see how that does. guess what? We're going to have even worse trouble than what we are now. So I don't know. If you guys can figure it out, let me know. I'd love to know. So, but that's it. That's this article from the Outspoken Silent One. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, subscribe if you want to see more. Watch for it. My views are different. I actually say my views and how I feel in all my videos, and it's only my opinion that I'm voicing. It's just how I stand, and I'm seeing every day more and more people are saying the exact same things that I say. So if you like it and you think someone else would enjoy it, please share it. If you don't like it and you think somebody will laugh about it, share it with them. I don't care. Every view is a view for me. Just shows me that someone actually cared enough to watch what I had to say. So if you enjoyed it, subscribe, follow along. I'll try to put videos out all the time. And if you don't, fine. If you have any suggestions how to improve my videos or something, put it down in comments and I'll address it. I'll see if I can do it, if it's something that would really help. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks.